In Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 through 4, it reads, Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. What if I told you that Jesus was the byproduct of an angelic and human union? I would hope you would think I was crazy. But what happens when it comes to verses like Genesis 6, 1 through 4, everybody seems to create ministries surrounding around who the sons of God were. They're also referred to as the Nephilim. And the sons of God, by most people, will tell you that they're either the line of Seth, Adam's son, or they were fallen angels that apparently fell when Satan rebelled in heaven. And my thing is, when you take that route, regardless of who the sons of God were, when you take the most incredible avenue with it, that they were angels, what do? You end up inserting the possibility that angels are running around having sex with women, and then they're having children. And it's like, how do we know who's human and who's not after that? And so when it comes to what I was saying earlier about Jesus, if we think that angels are having sex with women and having offspring that was some sort of angelic human hybrid, how can we not say that the angel who announced to Mary, the mother of Jesus, that she was pregnant with Jesus, how can we not surmise that, well, maybe the angel is the father of Jesus? It just destroys the gospel, destroys the Bible, and we have all sorts of chaos that we have to try to mitigate for. It's almost like those that try to insert evolution into the Bible. So my point is this. Honestly, we do not know who the sons of God were, but based on the surrounding text and even the verse itself, it's better to go with what it seems to read than to make up these sidebars that, without people realizing it, undermine the truth of Scripture or the truth of the gospel, to minimize it or to centralize it. The scriptures itself say in verse 1, they talk about men began to multiply. And then it says that God said, my spirit shall not strive with men forever. And then even the verse itself in verse 4, the Nephilim or the sons of God are referred to as mighty men, men of renown. There is nothing in there that says they were angels. Nothing at all. And besides, even those people who are demon possessed, there's nothing to indicate that even if they forced the body that they were inhabiting, that they had possessed, to have a relations with a woman, and a baby was the byproduct of that offspring, there's nothing to suggest that some sort of angelic DNA is passed through to the woman. It would still be human DNA, simply just possessing the man. That's a clear interpretation that I see. And so instead of just saying we don't know who they are and then just siding on the side of common sense and be like, since the Bible doesn't say they were angels, we'll just assume that they were men, since that's what the surrounding context says. But people want to make a name for themselves and want to hang on to the most extreme and incredible interpretation of the scriptures, even though the verses themselves don't clearly tell you that's what it is. It's better just to be silent, since the Bible is silent. And the fact that God wiped out men on earth. He didn't say he wiped out the angels and the men on earth. That is the best way to look at it. Now, I know that doesn't solve the whole question, and people won't want to come to a conclusion to it because there's too much to be gained by constantly talking about this subject and going on about it forever and missing the point of the whole passage, which is like God was tired of how men wicked were and decided to flood the earth. That is what we're focusing on, but we decided to want to look at the sons of God and see who the Nephilim were and who these giants were. Obviously, there were giants on the earth, probably 7 to 10 feet tall, based on the other giants that we know about, like the giant David and Goliath, And then there was another mention of a giant later on that one of David's warrior men took care of it from Egypt that was like 7.5 feet tall. But either way, they were still men. So I would just encourage you to not automatically think that they were the most wild interpretation is what we should take from this. So I think they were men. And that's because that's what God killed when he flooded the earth. He killed man. So I think it's easier to go that way and then to trust the Lord that he's not inserting some sort of mystery into the text that we've gone off on a rabbit trail trying to figure out. So, but they were men and men of renown, but still men. I hope that helps. Take care.